What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Lucky Madman here today, discussing about the big shift. Yes, it includes an F, not just a shit. Alright, not just going to the toilet, alright? We're talking about a shift in the game, alright? Today, Summoners War has released a developer's note here for us to read. It's about the new dungeon artifact. They had the shift presentation earlier on today. Today, we're going to be talking about this shift in the game, everyone. So, anyway, no, I don't know if that's going to be our intro. I don't know if that's going to be our intro. That was kind of Monka-esque. You know what? We're going to roll with it. That's going to be our intro today, alright? So anyway, let's go through. Let's see what they say here. Alright, so, greetings from the development team. We hope everyone has been doing great. Are you guys all doing great? By the way, we are live on Twitch. This is going to be loaded to YouTube. If you guys ever want to catch me live, Twitch TV/Lucky Madman. That's where you can find me. Recently, we've updated a massive update. Released a massive update pre-registration notice about the meetup. And thank you to everyone that did attend. Hope you guys got all the rewards. All the codes are in our Discord, !Discord if you guys want to figure that out. Today's note, we would like to give out more details in the upcoming update. Please read below for further info. Guys, if you like this video, make sure you like the video. Comment if you have any things that you want to ask me about it. And subscribe to my channel if you want any future content, alright? So, new dimensional hold, Dimension Predator. Dude, it sounds kind of sketch, you know what I mean? It's a mysterious being that absorbs and indulges magic constantly and wanders through various dimensions. Has appeared in the dimension Kazan, is where it's going to start off, right? The Predator not only has a dark atmosphere and bizarre form, but he also has massive power. He's a battle that focuses on the fun of battle, which is one of the characteristics of a turn-based RPG. Its battle content, where the deck compositions and strategy are more important than the monster specifications. This new dungeon is designed to enhance your desire to challenge and focus on the strategical battle with the following details. All right, yo, pause. Thank you for the resub for 11 months. All right, so the Dimension Predator dungeon. It's a dungeon with high difficulty that requires a manual battle, so you're gonna be doing it manually all the way throughout. It consists of 4 waves, including a mid-boss wave, and a total of 3 phases will be played against the final boss. Okay. Dimension Predator. Prepare your brain for the artifacts. I heard there's a lot going on over there. Alright. Monsters entering battle will have buff that increases base monsters' attack power, defense HP, and attack speed by 10 times each. 10 times each. Okay? So your base stats are improved by 10 times. So let me just start this up here. And you can only clear the dungeon once a month. So you get this one area of the game, you get 4 stages and 3 phases against the boss once a month. So I'm expecting it to be pretty hard. But I think it's more strategic based, which is why they're buffing the base stats rather than rune requirements, yeah? You can clear the dungeon only once while the dungeon is open, and you cannot enter again once it is cleared. Dimension Predator will in a different dimension every month, and Predator will first appear in Kazan, which means you can only enter dungeon with only default 4-star or below monsters. Which means in Alunia, it'll have to all be the same element. And Lumel, it is a total star requirement. Am I correct in saying that? So, that is going to be the requirements. Yeah, there you go. Some of all default grade in Lumel. It's going to be 15 stars or lower. And separate entrance limit condition will be applied afterwards. So there you go. One dimensional hole energy will be consumed for 1 entrance count. So if you fail, right? So you can keep redoing it, I assume. Until you finally pass it. With these characteristics, we think Dimension Predator Dungeon will be a new type of dungeon that summoners haven't experienced before in the game. Let's talk more about basic stats that getting increased. And this is what it looks like. So they show this in the presentation. This is like a 5-star runed Lucian. This is a 6-star runed Lucian. Hey, that's not a bad Lucian, right? Like, legit, I think that's harder hitting than my Fat Lucian right now. Anyway, but mine's 100 crit rate, so it's kind of Pepega. Yeah, what's extra? Changes in dimension, so as you can see, the base stats are multiplied by 10, and therefore the overall impact by the runes doesn't make too much of a difference, right? So, as you can see, the base stats are ridiculous. Look at that. Plus 1,030, like 1,030 speed, plus 43. So, it's very minuscule versus the 103 base and the 20 speed difference up here. So the base stats are massive, right? On the left, we have Lucian 5-star hero grade, and on the right, we have 6-star legend runes. These two have significant difference normally, but in the Dimension Predator dungeon, there's only a 4% difference. Which means it's kind of making it fairer for everyone, and it's more about how It's more about how you utilize your unit. So, Fluff, your question is, so you want to stack crit damage? Essentially for your damage dealers, yes. Odin, when's the patch coming? Well, absolutely no idea. Let's see if the dev notes actually say anything, okay? So yeah, so like the overall value is in crit damage when building damage dealers when you're looking at this situation, okay? Because your attack power, like stacking attack doesn't mean as much as it is to crit damage. This makes flat runes viable now just for subs. Commons, I think in the sense, like, I don't think it makes flat runes as viable because you're still chasing specific stats. I think this allows people that are not as strong to be able to compete or do this dungeon as well. Because based on this, I don't think your rune's going to carry you as much as your strategy that you want to apply. And that's the main thing, okay? This means you have to understand the dungeon and utilize your monsters. Exactly what they're trying to do there. So we're confident saying the dungeon, Dimension Predator Dungeon is also a great dungeon for summoners who are still progressing through the game to enter and challenge. I think that's a great thing to introduce. It means early gamers can still do it. They can still get rewards that any player would get, right? Because I think it's fixed rewards, right? You get a fixed reward and you pick one of the rewards, which I think they may mention below. We'll continue on. They did say it in the presentation, so we'll continue on and see what we got here. So the boss battle. All right, so it's got a lot of different skills here. So it gains additional skills in different phases. But the first skill says inflicts damage to the enemy target that ignores all damage reduction effects and steals all beneficial effects granted on the target. So, like, it looks like buffs is something that you kind of want to avoid. Endless Pain. Attacks all enemy and grants 2 continuous damage without a turn limit each. Grudge Eruption, which is a passive. An energy bead is activated whenever the boss is attacked 5 times. So multi-hits is really painful. When 3 energy beads are activated, the energy is released instantly to break the enemy target. The enemy's attack power and defense will be decreased for 3 turns. Okay? Dimension Transcendence. The boss is immune to attack bar decreasing effect and glancing hit increasing effect. Oh! So that means like crit rate reduction doesn't apply to the boss. Also, the effect of the attack that's proportional to enemy HP will be weakened. That's typical for bosses. Soul Clone. Passive. When a new phase begins. Clones the soul of the enemy with the highest attack power and the enemy with the high defense to create 2 illusions. The boss attack power will be increased greatly if you fail to defeat the illusions within 25 turns. Clone Soul is activated when the Dimension Predator is at 70% and 40%. So when you drop the boss down to a certain HP threshold, it creates a clone, right? And then the idea is to take down those clones at those certain points as well. So yeah, you don't want the boss to have his attack power increase by the looks of it. So it looks like it's gonna be it reminds me of like the TOA female boss, right? Because if she reabsorbs them, she gets stronger permanently. So it kind of reminds me of that. I'm kind of glad they made Lauren useless here, as you guys were mentioning in chat, because it's immune to decreasing attack bar effect. Because that makes the boss way too easy. Because everyone will just do Fran Lauren, you know? Like, then the boss won't be challenging. The boss will never move. But he'll get attempts whenever you hit the amount of target, like the amount of hits. Watcher's Eye is the phase 2 additional skill. Attacks all enemies and monitors all enemies for 1 turn. If an enemy gets a turn while being monitored, it steals 10% of the target's HP. Ah, okay. So monitor seems like it's gonna be a new debuff. So it'd be kind of interesting. Curses the enemy, the phase 3 additional skill. Curses the enemy that inflicts the most damage for 3 turns. The cursed enemy will inflict double damage to the boss, but it's guaranteed to be defeated when the curse ends. The curse will be put on another enemy for 3 turns when the cursed target is defeated. Wow. Okay, so you start losing all your units. You start losing all your units in the final phase, but you do get double damage on the boss, and the curse just transfers across. I wonder if this means like Elad or like an AoE Reviver is going to be really strong here. Even a Mana seems like he's going to be pretty strong here, right? Looking at what the boss does. You probably want I reckon even like the Fire Panda might be pretty good here. Like I'm just trying to throw out ideas because you got cleanses. Fire Panda with the armor break on a counter attack. To cleanse those dots. And I want to know how hard it actually is damage wise, right? We'll have to wait and see. I've got a few units that I think might be pretty good here. We'll have to wait and see how they actually turn out to play. Anyway, next thing on the list, it says here, battle against the Dimensional Predator will consist of 3 phases. Every time the phase changes, the boss will use Soul Clone. Soul Clone copies the skills of summoners monsters with the highest attack power and defense, each to create 2 illusions. Wow, they actually copy your units. If you don't defeat the illusion, the boss attack power will be greatly increased in the next phase. It is important to defeat the illusions within the limited turns. We have that many summoners will experience the fun of turn-based battle, thinking and trying out various strategy in each turn. Now they're talking about the rewards. When you clear the Dimension Predator dungeon, 2 types of rewards will be given. From the first box, 5 of 6-star Ancient Runes, legendary grade, with the fixed main property and sub-properties will appear, and you can select one of them to acquire. The runes that will be available as 5 runes in the Dimension Predator dungeon that opens up in the Dimension Kazan are. So they've already told us what runes we've got the option of. What rune would you guys go with here? What runes would you guys go with here? Because I think, personally, I'm probably looking at the Nem rune. I think the Nem rune here, for me, would be the most value. Slot 4 with maximum attack, maximum defense, and that speed is pretty nice. But that Rage rune or that Blade rune is also pretty tempting. So I think I'm probably going to go with the Nem rune. Yeah, so that's the main reason why. It's either going to be the Nem or the Blade. The Rage is okay, but it's because it's the slot 2, it's kind of eh. But it depends if you need a Rage slot 2 rune. If the resistance on the Rage rune was a crit damage one, that's the one I'd go with. And it all comes down to how it rolls, exactly right. What's really sad is that none of these have innates. So you're probably never going to re-app it, right? And none of them are really worthwhile re-apping. But I wonder if, like, Illunia will give us a will rune. Summoners can choose 1 of 5 runes. Which one do you like the most? Did they talk about a second rune box? Oh, here we go. Second rune box. It's random runes, not what you see. Just an example. Are you sure? I think they're fixed for... It says fixed main property and sub-properties will appear. I think they're fixed. And you can select one of them to acquire. So it's just those runes. It's not random. It's going to be fixed. I think everyone gets the same thing here. I think the second box, we're going to cover that off in a second. So it says, as you can see, the type of runes given as a reward are the same type of runes dropped in the Kazan. Dimension Predator moves to another dimension. So the 5 type of runes presented will be changed to the rune sets available. You can also see the change rune info before the battle from the drop info. For instance, if they're in Lunia, you get a legendary rune of Despair, Endure, Nemesis, Will, Accuracy will be available. So I think what they're trying to do is this makes it fair to everyone. It means there's no RNG available. There's no RNG with the fixed runes. Everyone gets the same runes, and everyone can pick their own option. When it's in Lunia, I think the Despair or the Will is probably going to be very tempting. But I feel like if they're smart, they're going to probably give us some really awkward runes. You know what I mean? They might be like, will be nice, but if we make it too nice, 99% of the population is going to go for it, you know? So I think this might be a little bit of a tricky one. Despair, Nem, and Will, they're probably going to bump it up, right? So I think I like that idea. From the second box, random rewards including Ancient Grinds and Gems, Ancient Magic Stones, Runor, and Ancient Magic Origin. So like this stuff here is going to drop. So how many rewards? It looks like it comes up with 6 rewards. 6 random rewards. So this is the random reward, right? So this is the fixed reward. Everyone gets one of these runes. You get one of these options to pick. So they give you 5 rune options that are fixed. Everyone gets 1 rune each once you do clear it. And then number 2, that's your random reward. Okay? So it looks like you get a box of items and you get to pick one. I don't know if you get to pick one, but maybe that's how it comes up, right? That would be pretty cool. I think that's a fair way of approaching it. Having a fixed reward means it's not RNG. On a monthly basis, the only RNG you get is in that box, which I don't think is too much of a concern. I think as long as the RNG wasn't in the runes, that makes it a lot fairer for everyone. Like, imagine if one person got, like, all flats here, and someone got, like, some really boosted runes. It makes it really unfair, right? So I'm kind of glad this is a fixed reward that you can only pick one of. And the second box is, like, really RNG based on the grinds, gems, and all that sort of jazz. So summoners will be able to enjoy battles using monsters with enhanced power and the battlefield designed with the high difficulty. We hope summoners will experience an exhilarating sense of achievement with the successful attacks and enjoy the rewards. Also, we hope that this will become a place where you can use various monsters for your own strategy. Now we get excited to talk about the massive update, the Kaios dungeon modification. So that is it for the dimensional hole changes that they mentioned. And then now there's 2 new dungeons. being introduced into Summoner's War. This is pretty big now because Steel Fortress and Punisher's Crypt, they're the two new areas that they're introducing, and they're also bringing out artifacts. New dungeons where bosses with powerful ancient power reside and have been added to the Kaios dungeon. Let's talk about the Steel Fortress. So this looks like the first boss. It says attacks all enemies, decrease attack speed for 2 turns. Attacks the enemy target 3 times and decrease attack bar by 30% each. So, whoa, wait. It can push your attack bar down by 90%. And the enemy will be stunned for 2 turns if the enemy's attack bar becomes 0. So you can get stunned for 2 turns. That is ridiculously huge. Thunderbolt. Whenever the enemy's 5th turn ends, the attacks a random enemy with the Thunderbolt. Attacks up to 4 times. Yeah, what's up, Exo? Attacks the random enemy with the Thunderbolt. Attacks the enemy 4 times in proportion to the boss's attack power. And the attack will never land as a glancing hit. Stuns the enemy with the 25% chance per beneficial effect. Stuns the enemy for 2 turns when the boss lands a critical hit. All these 2-turn things are really scary. Yeah, Thunderblow is a single hit. It's a single hit, yeah, so that's okay. Increases boss attack power and critical rate for 1 turn when each turn begins, and grants shield equivalent to 10% of the boss's HP. So I think, like, this boss here, you can kind of control it, and run immunity. So it's like a Fran Lauren stage, essentially. So it kind of seems pretty easy. I don't see it being too challenging, but we'll have to wait and see. Ancient Torment of the boss of Steel Fortress has a strong defense ability. And so if it's defense-based, I mean, treat it like light boss. Has a skill that... So, Tormentor has a skill that grants 4 beneficial effects on himself. The boss gets stronger with beneficial effects, so we recommend you remove these beneficials to lead the battle to your advantage. It didn't seem like it did, Ren. Let's take a look at the Punisher Crypt now. So, that's one. Next one, Punisher Crypt. The answer sword attacks all enemy, decrease attack bar by 30% each. Attacks the enemy 7 times and absorbs attack by 20% each. The skill will be enhanced as following when the Ancient Punisher gains his designated turn. 5th turn, number of attacks will increase up to 3 times according to speed. 10th turn, damage increase up to 100%. 15th turn, attacks will ignore enemy defense. Oh, shit. It's going to ignore defense. Okay. The damage received from the enemy will be decreased up to 70% according to the attack speed. Additionally, gains a turn instantly when the boss is granted with decreased attack bar effect. Wow. That's pretty full on. If the Ancient Tormentor felt heavy and hard, the Ancient Punisher feels sharp and fancy. Okay. Ancient Punisher has the fastest attack speed than any other bosses ever. So it's going to be a really fast boss. Ancient Punisher has special passive skills that get stronger as the boss gets turns. I wonder if Leo is going to be good here. These skills become even more powerful depending on the attack speed of the Punisher. So make sure to lower the attack speed of the Punisher and finish the battle as soon as possible. Seems like Lauren's going to be good here. Punisher's Crypt is the light dungeon and Steel Fortress is the wind dungeon. These 2 dungeons will consist of 10 floors. Okay, so this is a 10 floor dungeon, okay? Bosses sure have powerful skills that you have not experienced yet, but we strongly believe that summoners will be able to create their own strategy and defeat it in no time. Now we will explain what the special rewards can be acquired from them. So, here we go. New equipment artifact. Yeah, we'll figure it out, Jenny. I'm just throwing random names out, because if it's speed scaling, I was saying Leo would cancel it, right? But he doesn't work on bosses. There you go. Hey, we've got someone that's paying attention in chat. Artifact is new equipment that increases attack, defense, or HP. And grants additional effects with new type of sub-property. Artifacts divided into attribute artifact and type artifact, and you can equip one of each monster. Okay, so attribute artifact, you can only align it with the attribute of the unit. So you got to pick it based on the element. Depending on the element, that means you can apply it. And then type artifact, so it's going to match the type of unit it is, right? So if you've got a support-based unit, you got to use a support-based artifact. If you've got an attack-based unit, you use an attack-based artifact. And so on, okay? Take a look at the fire attribute artifact and attack type artifacts as an example. These artifacts are divided into 2 types, and be noted that the artifacts can be equipped to the monster of the same type and attribute. So, as you can see, like, this is what you see here. Type artifact, additional damage based on defense, increased crit rate by 3%. Damage dealt will be reflected damage by 1%. Or damage dealt by reflect damage plus 1%. And HP when revived is plus 2%. So you got some really small random adjustments there. Attack on the attack artifact is crushing hit damage is increased by 3%. Defense increased proportional to lost HP up by 5%. And so on. There's a lot of random facts. So yeah, let's go through that in a little bit more detail below. I think they're listed out below. Each artifact will have either one of the main stats, so like something like this, as you can see. They can be powered up to 15, and the stat value will increase as you get powered up and follows. So that's how it goes. It goes up to 1500 attack, 100 attack. 1500 HP, 100 attack, 100 defense. Sub-properties, the number of sub-properties will be decided based on the grade of artifacts. And same as runes. So like, you get four what's it called, substats or effects, right? If you've got a legend one and so on. So plus 3, plus 6, plus 9, plus 12. So you get 4 power up points, which means you can stack the power of it, right? So what are the special characteristics of artifacts? So they've got additional effects that are added to the unit. Okay, so let's have a look. Type artifact, categorized by skill number. So skill 1, 2, 3, 4 crit damage increase. Recovery increase, accuracy increase. Default power, 36%. Maximum is 30%. 30%. Holy moly. Okay. That is ridiculous. I mean, 30% of recovery and accuracy. I mean, accuracy is huge, right? Recovery of 30% is not that big, right? Crit damage would be nutty. 30% increased crit damage. Imagine that. A third skill increase on Lucian. Damage done on like a specific element. Damage received from specific element. Wow, you can get massive reduction. Common artifacts. Here we go. Increased proportional to lost HP up to X. So you can get speed increase, defense, or attack increase based on lost HP. Attack decrease, increase. Speed increase speed effect. Wait, what does it mean by speed effect? Are they talking about like speed buff? Surely they're talking about like speed buff. Or are they going to apply that to like total speed? Yeah, I was going to say speed effect, right? So crit rate effect, so you need crit rate buff. And damage dealt by counter attack, I assume that's going to be innate passive. As well as counter attack, what's it called? Like the buff. Damage dealt by attacking together. Oh, Sylvia related one. There you go. Or Rauk one. Bomb damage, okay. Life drain, that's pretty cool. I like the life drain one. Innate vampire, dude. Ooh. HP when revived. Attack bar when revived. Ooh, okay. Oh, it only goes up to 15 though, at most. Damage, I mean, we're looking at maximum, right? So it's kind of weird. So maximum additional damage based on HP, attack, defense, speed. Additional damage by 200% of speed. Ooh, I mean, that's not too big, I guess. That's not going to be too much, right? So, like, 200 speed units means it's going to be double damage. So, 200 speed means 400 more damage. It's not that much, really. But 300 makes 600 more damage. Anyway, damage received on the inability effects. Minus... Okay, yeah, that's fine. Speed under inability effects. Hey, that's pretty cool. Gaining speed under inability effects? Yo, you can get up to 30% more speed under inability effects. That's pretty cool. Receive crit damage reduction. You can reduce crit damage incoming. Crushing hit damage increase as well. Okay, there are so many properties. Summoners will be able to equip artifacts to enhance the points of the monsters that monsters were lacking, or to amplify special abilities that they possess. Artifacts will be dropped in Steel Fortress Punisher script, and you'll be able to also acquire higher grades, blah, blah, blah. So it only goes to B10 for now. So you get blue to legend drops. I'm not really going to look at all the other stages because it's only worthwhile farming B10 in my opinion. So I wouldn't look at anything below. So B10 is the one you want to focus on. So you get rare, hero, and legend drops there. How to make artifacts even more perfect. Artifact conversion. Okay, property conversion. You can convert the property. So this is like gems and grinding, right? So it allows you to change the sub-properties of the artifacts, like the conversion feature and rune enchantment. Squiz, thank you for the follow. Is it a re-up? I don't think it's a re-up. Is it? I think it's like a gem. Artifact conversion divided, so that's what they're talking about, like rune enchantment, right? Artifact conversion is divided into normal and special, and artifacts with power up plus 12 can be converted. Also like rune conversion. Only one property can be changed for each artifact. Only one property can be changed. And the converted property can be converted. So if you take one of them out, it's a gem. Select one property and change it to a random one. Conversion can be processed by conversion stones that are dropped in new dungeons with the fixed chance. Okay, so it's like, yeah, so... The amount of conversion stones will be increased gradually whenever you use a conversion stone. Wait, what? So, the more conversion stones you use, the more you'll need moving forward. That's pretty insane. That's really... I don't know if I like that aspect. I would have liked it to be fixed. Special conversion and change it with the fixed one. Conversions can be preceded by using engraved conversion stones that are crafted. So, you can craft... But it's the wrong way. It's not really a pity system. It's the other way around. The amount of conversion stones will be increased gradually whenever you use conversion stones on one artifact. So anyway, let's have a look. Conversions can be preceded by using engraved. So you can craft these, right? So you craft these and you can pick one of these as a special conversion. Because these are fixed. You either get random or you get fixed. To craft engraved conversion rates... Conversion stones dropped in Steel Fortress and monsters are needed as material. Also, default grade of monsters used for material will define the grade. Legend! To get one legend, you need to feed a Nat 5. And a conversion stone you can do only once a month. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, I don't know. That's a really big price. I don't think I would feed. I don't think I would be feeding my Nat 5s, but I probably would be feeding my heroes, my Nat 4s. I think I'd feed Nat 4s, but I don't think Nat 5s are worth it because the Gucci shop is too powerful. It's like too good to go for the Gucci shop. Like I'd rather 5 re-apps on runes. Nat 3s? I think Nat 3s are okay. Like Nat 3s are whatever. So I think, like, if you have too many Nat 3s and you run out of storage space, you can just dump it here and hope for, like, some blues and purples, right? So, in addition, the engraved conversion stone will be crafted at random, depending on the type and attribute of the crafting monster. Wait, hold on. The engraved conversion stone will be crafted at random, depending on the type and attribute of the material monster. So, if you use a fire HP monster material, either the fire engraved conversion stone or HP engraved conversion stone will be crafted. So, it only aligns to the type of unit you have. So, if you want an LD legend, you need to feed an LD Nat 5. Imagine that. Holy moly. So if you want light dark, you need to feed light dark. And it's not even guaranteed because you might end up with the support type. Oh man, that's a lot. Okay, let's find out. Let's find out if there's a glitch in there and says anything about fusion monsters. Because otherwise we just start all fusing Veros. For instance, if you use the Fire Death Knight HP type as crafting material, either the Fire Engraved Conversion Stone or HP Engraved Conversion Stone will be crafted. Engraved Conversion Stones can be used on the artifacts of the same type. Okay. If the artifact matches the characteristics of monsters and situations, its effects will be amplified. This is different from the runes with good stats, which can be used for most monsters. If the property increases the damage dealt with attacking together, the property will be useful on Dark Neostone Agent or Fire Inagami. If it increases defense, it will be useful on Wind Living Armor and Fire Frankenstein. Yeah, no, I was going to say the same thing, Tutoru. Hopefully, they probably won't allow us to do it. It's kind of dumb if they allow us to do it, but yeah. Artifacts can be used to amplify and enhance the ability of monsters. We try to list up the sub-properties so users will be able to figure out which properties are good for which monsters with ease. We hope you'll compose the perfect team for new dungeons, farm artifacts, and build your monsters to be stronger. With the new equipment, there'll be a big change in the game. This means the existing gameplays will be impacted too. To lessen the burden, we have made the following improvements to Kaios. Okay, so Giants is staying full blue, so it's going to be full water all the way through. Dragons look like it's going to be fire all the way through. And Necro is going to be dark all the way through. I think that's really good. It makes people much easier to break into getting into Giants, Dragons. And they're introducing B12. I cannot believe we spoke about this on podcast last night. We literally spoke about this on podcast last night. So, I still can't believe that that's what they went with. But yeah, so people can farm all the way to B10, blah, blah, blah. It's easy to farm all the way up. But B12 is going to be pretty nice, right? So, oh my god, hold on. I kind of skipped too much. So it says, by expanding the floors, users will be now able to acquire better runes. B11 and B12 will have a high difficulty level, but also drop better rewards. For B12, only 6-star runes will be dropped. And the drop rate of 6-star legendary runes will be increased by 2.5%. Sorry, 2.5 times what it is in B10. I think that's a big change. 2.5 times the rate right now. So, wait, guys, what's 2.5% of 0? Anyway, that was a little bit of a joke. 6-star runes, B12. Only in B12. B11 is the same as B10, but higher drop rate. But B12 is going to be pretty nice, right? So, moreover, the drop rate of 6-star ancient legendary runes will be increased by 1.5 times in D-hole. The changes to this improvement won't relieve the stress of rune farming 100%. But we hope the changes will enable the early middle stage users to take a step closer to conquer each floors. But last and not least, we received many comments about auto repeat battle from summoners. We spoke about this last night too. As we mentioned in the user meetup, we are also preparing auto repeat battle that's suitable for summoners war. One of the biggest concerns into introducing this was that the feature would gradually reduce their time invested in the game. It eventually leads to reduced interest in summoners war. I mean, that's what we mentioned last night. Thus, we are developing auto repeat battle in our own way so that summoners can take meaningful action while running the auto repeat battle simultaneously. For example, you'll be able to auto run the damage while setting the runes. Okay, so what they're saying here is you can mess around with your runes while dungeon farming. So you can do like rune power-ups. You can play around with your runes, maybe talk to guild, do all that. I mean, you can already talk to guild, but I mean like more things you can do while while it's running in the background. That'd be pretty cool. We'll do our best to create more satisfying, enjoyable gameplay in the future. That's all for today's notes. We hope that these updates are great news to our summoners. Developers note is intended to help you understand the upcoming updates. In advance, the developers blah 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 testing this. It's been a while since we tested the major update, so blah blah blah. Is there anything about dates in here? It is telling us to go check out the pre-registration. Make sure you use your friends' links. If you haven't got a referral link, try use a friend's one because you get additional mystical scrolls if you use a friend's one. And yeah, so do that. If you haven't got a referral link, try to do that. You get an extra 5 mystical scrolls. Help everyone out rather than just using this link because it doesn't help anyone. You may as well help your friends out. So yes, there's nothing about when this update is coming out in these notes from what I read. It's going to be harder than the dungeons. I don't know if they said that it's going to be the same difficulty anyway, did it? No, B11 and B12 will have a higher difficulty level, but will also have better rewards. It's going to be harder. They say it's going to be harder, okay, than current B10. But I still feel like people will still strive to get to B12. That's their goal. Getting to B12 will be fine. No 5-star runes, only 6-star runes. So that'll be awesome. I think a high level, let's quickly recap because it's going to go onto YouTube. So, new monthly dimensional hole boss. You have to manual it. You get base stat increase times 10. So it's more about strategy than it is about your monster stats. I would scale your damage dealers with more crit damage than anything else, like crit damage, more than attack. In this environment. And then there's certain skill aspects which we covered off. The rewards, you get a fixed rune plus a RNG box as well. So everyone gets one of these. You get all these options, and you can pick one, and it's fixed for everyone. And it changes based on the environment. And then over here, you get a random RNG box. And then you got the new two Kaios dungeons, which is Steel Fortress and Punisher's Crypt, which is where the artifacts will drop. We spoke about them, and then we spoke about the artifacts and how they're gonna work. So I think that's huge. I think the artifacts are gonna be really big. So I wonder if it's gonna be interesting because like these artifacts could be really, really strong. And the timing would impact SWC as well. Doesn't say anywhere in here when it's going to be. But I wonder if how it's going to line up with SWC. Because the line up with SWC would have a massive impact. And how strong the new bosses are, I think we're going to find out. So that's going to do us for the YouTube video. If you guys enjoyed what you saw, make sure you like the video. Leave a comment below if you have any questions for me. Or subscribe to the channel for any future content. Thank you, YouTube. We're going to move on to the Twitch segment now. So if you guys ever want to catch me live, Twitch TV/LuckyMadman if you guys want to see some more in the future. But yeah, that's going to do us for now. I'll see you all next time.